Good morning, students. We are back with Civics Chapter 1, Understanding Diversity. I hope you have gone through the videos that we have studied earlier, but still, I'll give you a quick recap of what we have studied in previous classes. We started this chapter with understanding the basic meaning of diversity. It is the difference, how you are different from your classmates, or a person is different from his neighbor, a country is different from another country, the main things that show the differences. Then we studied the story of Samir Ek and Samir Do. From that story, we learned the basic meaning of differences, the concept of diversity, which includes caste, religion, and language, or likes, dislikes, etc. And we also studied other differences of inequality. Inequality has the differences based due to income group they belong to, like rich or poor, how some children can go to school, others can't, and also there was caste system. Then we also studied that diversity is healthy. It brings the culture alive in a country, but inequality is not. Then we studied what does diversity add to our lives. We know we try different cuisines, we celebrate different festivals, there is different type of clothing. All these things are due to diversity. Now, how do we explain diversity? For that, I gave you the example of your own, like if you are shifting from Rajkot, from Junagadh to Mumbai or Chennai, how you adapt to that area where your culture is intact, but still you make certain changes as per your neighbors or your surrounding. And what were the main causes for diversity? The first one was the geographical location, and the second was history of that region. So, and for in detail, I explained this concept by giving you the example of Kerala and Ladakh. How Kerala, which is near ocean, and Ladakh, which is on the mountain, what kind of food they eat, what kind of clothes they wear, what kind of activities, how they earn their living, all these things are dependent on their history and geography. Now we will study unity in diversity. We know this term. Unity in diversity is what describes India. Let's study about it. India's diversity has always been recognized as a source of its strength. When the British ruled India, women and men from different cultural, religious, and regional backgrounds came together to oppose them. India's freedom movement had thousands of people of different backgrounds in it. They worked together to decide joint actions. They went to jail together, and they found different ways to oppose the British. Interestingly, the British thought they could divide Indians because they were so different and then continue to rule them. But the people showed how they could be different and yet be united in their battle against the British. We have studied, we have learned, we have heard so many stories about India's freedom movement on Republic Day or Independence Day. While Indians were fighting the British, it was not that only people of certain region or people of certain religion were protesting. All the people, men, women, rich, poor, everyone came together to fight against the British. What the Britishers had in mind that they will divide and rule. But the Indians, they came together and won because of their unity. The unity, though there were differences, though everyone was from a diverse culture, still because of this unity in diversity, we were able to get the independence. Don't forget the days of blood, O friend. In the midst of your happiness, remember to shed a tear for us. The hunter has torn away every single flower. Do plant a flower in the desert garden, dear friend. Having fallen to bullets, we slept in Jalyawala Bagh. Do light a lamp on this lonely grave, O friend. The blood of Hindus and Muslims flows together today. Do soak your robe in this river of blood, dear friend. Some rot in jails while others lie in their graves. Do shed a few tears for them, O friend. This is a poem written after the massacre of Jalyawala Bagh in 1919. The original poem is Din Khoon Ke Hamare. If you want, you can search it on YouTube and can get a link for it. The video is currently showing the differences, or the better word can be discrimination, that people feel not just based on their caste or religion but various other scenarios. But for your knowledge, you can just go through the poem once. This song was sung after the Jalyawala Bagh massacre in Amritsar, in which a British general opened fire on a large group of unarmed peaceful people, killing many and wounding even more. Men and women, Hindus, Sikhs and Muslims, rich and poor, had gathered to protest against the British. The song was composed and sung to honor the memory of those brave people. If you don't know what had happened on during the Jalyawala Bagh massacre, the thing was like around, many people had gathered there to protest against a rule by British. Um, the current general of Amritsar, British General Dyer, he went to the Jalyawala Bagh with a troop of soldiers. Jalyawala Bagh had just one opening and there were innocent people quietly protesting against the rule. But he opened fire. Like all the people who are unarmed, who are innocent, they are just simply sitting and protesting, but the soldiers fired on them. Within 15 minutes, around 25,000 people had been killed or wounded. So it was a brutal incident. This song was composed in their memory. Songs and symbols that emerged during the freedom struggle serve as a constant reminder of our country's rich tradition of respect for diversity. Do you know the story of the Indian flag? It was used as a symbol of protest against the British by people everywhere. In his book, The Discovery of India, Jawaharlal Nehru says that Indian unity is not something imposed from the outside, but rather it was something deeper and within its fold. The widest tolerance of belief and custom was practiced, and every variety acknowledged and even encouraged. It was Nehru who coined the phrase unity in diversity to describe the country. Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of independent India, told in his book that it was the unity of India. The diversity, it's not something that just the Britishers came, that's why we united to fight against it. But it was from within. The Indians have always accepted and encouraged different customs and beliefs. He was the first one to use the word unity in diversity to describe our country, India. India's national anthem, composed by Rabindranath Tagore, is another expression of the unity of India. In what way does the national anthem describe this unity? I know that you all remember the national anthem, and from that think which are the words which describe the unity of our country. With this, we end this chapter and we'll be doing the exercises in the next class.